Are you done? Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do the Finally Fall book tag. I was tagged in this by Kyla, and I will link her channel below. Sorry, the dog is trying to get to my paper, but she can't have it. Sit. You can't have this. Here's your toy. So question number 1. In fall, the air is crisp and clear. Name a book with a vivid setting. And the first thing I thought of for vivid setting was The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager, because the setting of this was just really good. And I think part of it might have been because I was actually kayaking while listening to the audiobook in the summer, but this just sets such a good stage for the lake and the house and like the eerie, like back to school vibes, like early fall vibes, I think is the time period. And it's just really good. And the houses and the lake almost become like characters themselves. So it's just very vibey and a great setting. This is my least favorite Riley Sager book because of a certain twist in this book that I don't really vibe with, but the atmosphere was spot on. Question number 2. Nature is beautiful, but also dying. Name a book beautifully written that also deals with loss or grief. So for that, I picked We Spread by Ian Reid, and girlfriend is doing the most right now. And this beautiful cover, beautifully written, and it definitely covers grief, loss, aging, memory loss, all of that. I guess it's called like a social horror, but it follows a woman who is put in a care facility and some sinister things are happening there, and she's not sure if it's the staff that she shouldn't trust or her own memory. And this book is really, really good. Highly recommend. Question number 3. Fall is back to school season. Name a nonfiction book that taught you something new. So I picked The Body Keeps the Score by this person. I'm gonna butcher the name if I try to say it, but this is about like trauma and how your body remembers trauma even if your brain doesn't. And this really helps you gain a deeper understanding of trauma and how to kind of heal from it and how to grieve. It talks about the different types of trauma and how each person defines trauma differently, how I might see something as traumatic that somebody else won't, and vice versa. And this is just super good and super important, and it really helps you understand people in your life probably. It teaches you a lot about relationships, and it's just a really, really good book. And it is a little bit dense, but I think it's worth it because you do learn a lot. Question number 4. To keep warm, we spend time with those we love. Name a fictional friend group you want to be a part of. So for this, I am using the friend group in the Friend Zone, a group of 4 friends that are just ride or die, 2 best girlfriends and 2 best guy friends trying to help a couple plan a wedding together. And I just really loved this book. It follows Kristen, and she falls in love with her friend's fiance's friend. And Abby Jimenez is just so good at writing romance that has hard-hitting topics and really deep emotion that's not like overkill. And she deals with a lot of hard-hitting topics, and this is her debut, and I loved it. I cried when I read it. I stayed up all night to finish it. It's just so, so good. But definitely look up trigger warnings. Question number 5 is about colorful leaves. Show us some fall colored spines. So the first 3, the main 3 that stuck out to me were these. I have the September house that has like the deep burnt red, and then I have the House is on Fire, and then I have the escape room that has that kind of like deep bronze. So those were the 3 that popped out to me. And number 6. Fall is the perfect time for storytelling. Name a book wherein someone is telling a story. And so for that, I picked The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. And this is an epistolary novel, I guess. So it's a woman who's in jail and she's writing a letter to somebody, basically trying to retry her case and trying to like plead her case. And so she is writing this letter and telling the story of what happened when she was a nanny for this family that lives in this like smart house, and a bunch of creepy stuff started happening, and she thought there was something in the attic. And this is a really good mystery, and it's a pretty good like gothic haunted house type mystery. And so she's just recounting the story of everything that happened in her words, or as she sees it rather. Number 7, nights are getting longer. Share a creepy, dark read. And for that, I picked The Last Word by Taylor Adams. This came out in, I believe, the early spring. It came out in April. And this is about a woman who is house sitting in the Pacific Northwest with her dog. And she reads a book that she thought was really terrible, and she wrote a 1-star review. And the author actually reached out to her and said, please take down that review. And she doesn't. And now she thinks that the author is stalking her. And it has really good like Pacific Northwest coastal vibes. It's super creepy, super eerie. And it kind of reminded me of that movie, I think it was Hush, where it's a deaf woman that's in a house and there's like an intruder. It kind of reminded me of that, just with the vibes and like the eerie and like the on the edge of your seat suspense. So this is a really good one. Question number 8 is days are getting colder. Share a short, heartwarming read to warm up any rainy, cold day. And for that, I picked X's and O's by Amy Leah. And I just really enjoyed this book. I have good heartwarming memories of this book because this was the buddy read for the X's and O's readathon back in February, hosted by my friend Jessie, and we had some other co-hosts with us as well. This is about a girl who gets a male roommate and she kind of uses him to help her find her exes again. She wants to find all of her exes and figure out like what she did wrong, why their relationship failed. And I'm sure you can figure out what happened, but she is just a hopeless romantic and he only does one-night stands, but it's cute, it's heartwarming, she's fun, it has some good quotes, it has some good like pop culture references in it, and it's just a nice, fun, enjoyable, heartwarming read. And it gives me good heartwarming memories. Number 9 is fall returns every year. Name an old favorite you'd like to return to. So for that, she's so over being in here. So for that, I have The Escape Room by Megan Golden. And this is about a girl who works in corporate and she and her coworkers are sent to this like team building activity. And before they get there, so they're on the way to this escape room and they get stuck in an elevator. So I think that's one reason that this book gets a lot of like bad rep, because I feel like a lot of people don't like this book. And I think that this should have been titled something else because it's called The Escape Room, but none of it actually takes place in the escape room. It takes place in the elevator where they're stuck trying to get to the escape room. But in order to get out of this elevator, they're gonna have to like share some of their deep secrets about what really happens in their corporate office. And it's just really good and it has a good twist, but don't let the fact that it doesn't actually take place in an escape room deter you. It's just a good ride. And then thankfully we're at the last question because we're also at the last of Indy's patience. But question number 10 was to tag some friends. And so if you want to do this fall tag, I tag you. But let me know in the comments below how you think I did, or what would you answer to some of these questions. Thanks so much for watching and sticking with me with this crazy girl and all of her energy. Please hit that subscribe button, it really helps out my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.